Hello. I'm going to let this populate for a second. I apologize if it's a little blown out in here. It's really sunny. I'm by the beach in North Carolina. I'll figure out how to get my lighting correct in here soon. Right now, I'm just improvising it. Thanks for joining me today for this quick conversation I want to have. There was a tweet made, I think, just about 2 days ago. And it was a tweet by Joe Scarborough. You know him best as his moniker. Oh, not enough coffee. Morning Joe, that he hosts with his partner Mika. And he was talking about how Republicans are really getting the canvassing out there, that they're going and they're door knocking, they're going door to door, they don't really care about COVID. And he kind of expressed a panic that Democrats aren't doing the same. So first, let me say, there was never any doubt in my mind, and I believe in a lot of political strategists' minds, that Republicans were always going to utilize canvassing. They've already shown that they don't really care about COVID or getting people sick. So I always knew that they were going to be doing canvassing. What I want you to know is that a lot of Democrats are already doing canvassing as well. And they're calling it contactless canvassing, which means they get like a door hanger and it has the candidate's information and they're putting it on the door. And in some cases, they're getting that and they're putting it on the door and they're knocking on the door and they're standing 6 feet away from the door at least. And then that person can come out of the house and they can talk to them about the candidate and issues or any questions that they might have about this election. So I want to reassure you that Democrats are doing this. And in fact, I put up a tweet that you can see that Democrats are doing it in Ohio, and they're doing it in Florida, and they're doing it in Wisconsin. I think my friend David showed me that they were doing it in South Carolina. So a lot of people are utilizing this contactless canvassing. So Democrats are doing that. So I don't want you to think Democrats just aren't doing it. They're just texting, they're just calling. No, they are doing it too. Now, are we utilizing it as much as Republicans are? I don't know. And I want you to know that I will investigate that and I will get back to you ASAP. I think I'll look over it this week to try to find out. It's not that hard to find campaigns information and how they're going about it. So I will find that out. But let's talk about get out the vote and what are the most effective techniques. These aren't my opinions. I don't like to have an opinion about what the best technique is. I like to go and I look at the studies and see different techniques have been studied over time about what works best. Let me see if I can change my branding here. Probably not. My StreamYard's being a little bit weird here. All right, I'm going to just leave this as is. Okay, so let me just talk first about canvassing. Canvassing is effective. It's been studied by a lot of people. I want to talk about about a Harvard study that was done in 2012. They studied the election in France between Hollande and Nicolas Sarkozy. And Hollande had sent out 80,000 people. And they knocked on 5 million doors. And he won. He won. And it showed that, okay, I want you to first let me say the European system of elections is very different than ours in the sense that they have a multi-party system. We have a two-party system. So, but what they noticed was that what it did was it galvanized people that really hadn't been reached before were happy to be reached out to. And it motivated them more. And I think I had the percentage of it. I think it was 5.3%. No, I'm sorry. 3.8% of the vote share. It says, while it did not majorly affect voter outturn, the initial response for 3.8 of Hollande's vote share responded to canvassing. So I want you to know that that's very effective, right? Canvassing, by the way, Hillary Clinton only lost by less than a percentage point. So 3 point anything is a massive amount in this election. So canvassing is effective. All of these techniques that I'm going to be talking about to you right now are small percentages that end up helping sway the election. And I want you to know right now that all of these techniques are helpful. So I'm going to go over canvassing, campaign signs, phone banking, text banking, negative political ads, yard signs, and snail mail. And I'm just going to touch on them. I'm only going to talk about this for a full maybe 5 to 10 minutes at most. And then I'm going to go into 2 more issues. So we know that canvassing can be effective. You have to do large numbers. It takes a lot of and financial investment on a campaign's part. You need to train people properly how to talk to the people that come to the doors. They have to be understand what the candidate stands on issues. Because when you're knocking on these doors, people want to have that information, like why they should vote for someone. So canvassing is a large investment. Okay, this is the same too for phone banking. 2010, there was a study that came out that after Obama had lost the House and I believe the Senate, like it was a bloodbath during 2010. And people remember this for being the Tea Party movement. We're not going to talk about that. What I'm saying is something that Obama apparently didn't utilize from a study that was done was a crucial aspect was phone banking. That phone banking is a critical part of any campaign. And why is it critical? Because you're usually calling from a list of people that have signed up to be contacted or have donated to the campaign. And so they are willing to listen to someone giving them a phone call. You're not calling someone that's like, if you're a Democrat, you're not calling a Republican usually, right? You're calling somebody that that's okay with being contacted. And that's why phone banking is important and effective. And apparently was underutilized during Obama's midterm election in 2010. So what I'm saying is it has shown to be effective. I was hoping to have a percentage here. It doesn't have a percentage, but it says, this is from the woman who did the study, Melissa Milkelson. She said, contrary to previous studies, we find this kind of targeted follow-up greatly increases the effectiveness of phone bank campaigns. In some cases, almost tripling the effect on voter turnout. I want to say that again. Phone banking can almost triple the voter turnout through phone banking. Okay, so when you're like, I'm really worried, I'm worried about the Supreme Court, I'm worried about healthcare, I'm worried about whether people with uteruses will be allowed to make choices over their own body, I'm worried about marriage equality. Well, you know what? You can be worried, but spring into action. Please make phone calls. You have to phone bank. I'm phone banking. I'm phone banking for several campaigns. I'll talk about that on my live tomorrow. Okay, so we know phone banking is great, but what about phone texting, right? I'm getting a ton of texts. How effective is texting? Well, they did a study in 2006. Seems like a long time ago. This is 14 years ago. But they found that it says the Republican Revolution that outvoted George Bush, voters were getting text reminders voted at a 3.1 percentage points higher than those that didn't. Okay, you see that? 3.1% higher chance of turnout. That's huge. We're talking incremental numbers here. 3.1. All of these things add up. Okay. So it says there are 2 aspects that contribute to the efficiency of text and communication. The first is that is the unique advantage that is provided by the channel. SMS communication is hard to ignore, right? I get a ton of emails, and sometimes it takes me a day or 2 to get through all my emails. My text messages I respond to pretty quickly, and that is why there is an importance in text messaging. They are hard to ignore. Okay, with 90% of text being read within the first 3 minutes. Wow, 90% of texts are read within the first 3 minutes. So back in the day when all my friends were single and they were like, did that guy or that girl read my text message? They probably did. They just did not respond. Okay. Maybe they didn't see it. Oh God, 90% of people see it within 3 minutes. So now we know. Okay. So the second is that SMS communication does not happen without voter consent. So if a voter signs up to know more about your campaign, they are automatically more receptive to your messaging. Okay. So if any of you are hesitant about contactless canvassing, if any of you are hesitant about text banking, if any of you are hesitant about texting, we now know that these things are all effective. Okay. Okay. So next, I want to talk about one that I was surprised about myself, and that is political signage. In New York, my husband and I do not have a yard. We don't. We have a sidewalk, and that's it, right? We can't put political signage. It would be stolen within 2 seconds, okay? But if you have a yard, if you live in the city, or you live in the suburbs, or you live in a place with a yard, buy a yard sign supporting your candidate, which my candidate is Biden and Harris. Did you know that it increases turnout by 1%? I did not know that. I read a study about yard signs. I'm shocked and awed about that, because apparently it has an effect where it influences people. So I remember when Michael Moore, and I don't listen to anything that Michael Moore says. I mean, I think that he's ridiculous, and I think too many people listen to him, and I'm tired of it. But he was talking about yard signs in Michigan. And he was saying that he was seeing more yard signs of Trump, which is disconcerting because it's showing people that they're proud to just go ahead and put out their yard signs and show who they're supportive of. So I'm telling you, buy a yard sign, put it in your yard, even if you're in a Trump majority neighborhood. Don't hide that shit. Show people that you're proud to have a Biden Harris sign. It will influence other people to buy one as well, so y'all can look at each other. And by the way, people who steal your signs, it's illegal in some cities for them to do that. So just FYI, be proud to have the sign, put it in your window, put a bumper sticker on your car, show people that you're proud to support them, okay? So that's exciting. 1 percentage point. There are some other political ads. I mean, I got into political ads because I really wanted to know, do negative ads work or negative ads bad? And I really wish, hi, someone just said hi. Someone asked me about, I'm going to turn my phone upside down for a second. I'm sorry about this. I just have to do this because I want to get this other brand out for a second. I want to show you something that I was very surprised about. Right here. Okay, let's see. Okay, this overlay. So you can see this overlay right here, and you can see that negative ads have exponentially increased over the years. You can see that right now. You can see from 2000 to 2012, negative ads have grown and grown and grown and grown. And in 2016, it was the most negative ads that we've ever had, okay? That we've ever had during any election season. The problem with negative ads is that they're effective. I'm going to turn this again. I hope you don't get seasickness. I'm so sorry. This is the last time I'll do that. Okay. So, cleavage shot. Sorry about that. Okay. So 2012 was one of the most negative until 2016. And then that was the most negative we've had. Okay. Why are negative ads effective? Negative ads are very effective if they come from an outside group. And now I realize why the Swift boating ad, now I'm realizing why the Swift boating ad actually was effective, okay? Because it wasn't from, I've forgotten which candidate it was. It wasn't from Bush. It was from an outside group, okay? So people don't seem to associate the negative ad with a candidate. They usually just associate it with a group, but it's influential. Negative ads, it says here, we find that candidates can benefit from having a group or party do their negative work, their dirty work, right? So when you look and you see something like the Lincoln Party, not the Lincoln Party, the Lincoln Group that's doing the ads on behalf of Democrats, Democrats may not like it. We might just feel like, ugh, it's kind of icky. I don't really like it. To be honest, it's effective, right? Because Biden's not condoning it, but he's also leaving it alone. So they've shown to be effective in that way. Okay. And then I will also say the last thing I'll say about this is snail mail. This is the last point I'm going to make about about get out the vote techniques. Snail mail, if it's targeted, it can be incredibly effective. For example, apparently during 2012, Obama targeted conservative women, which I didn't know about, that were pro-choice. They were, they were conservative in other issues, but they weren't conservative as far as the woman's right to choose. Okay. So he spent money on ads to target those women. And I thought that was really fabulous. So what it comes down to with all of these voting techniques is we have to do targeted outreach. So I just want you to know the bottom line is whether it's canvassing, whether it's phone calls, whether it's texting, whether it's putting a yard sign out for Biden and Harris, all of it is effective. Please participate in all of the above. And obviously, money helps. Okay, I was also going to do two more things. There was a great study that came out yesterday. Harvard studied it, and it was wondering, like, will millennial voters turn out? I'm sorry, not millennial, Gen Z. Millennial old now. I'm talking about Gen Z. And what they found was a whopping 67% of Gen Z voters support Biden, right? That's fabulous. And I saw a couple people online say, well, who cares? They don't come out to vote. Young people don't come out to vote. Well, that's not true this year. That's just not true this year. This year, they're incredibly motivated by a high number. I think it was 63% said they're definitely going to vote this election season. So that's huge. That could win us the election right then and there. Okay? And I think I had one other thing I wanted to go over today. Let me just double check here. And then that'll be it. And then tomorrow, obviously, I'll talk about some other stuff. How to find out if you've been purged. Okay. If I were you, I would go to Greg Palast has a great website. It's called Save My Vote. And if you're in Georgia, especially, I think about 200,000 people from Georgia were purged from the voting rolls. So you want to go to his Save My Vote 2020 website and check to see if you've been purged from the voting rolls. The good news is you have time to re-register your vote, but you need to find out now if you've been purged, okay? He's also going to put up if you've been purged in Wisconsin, Ohio, and Florida in the next, I think very soon. It says coming soon, so hopefully it's sooner than later because we end voter registration in Florida on the 5th of October, okay? So that's all I have today. We have 41 days left of voting. Not 41 days until voting, 41 days left of voting. I will leave you with this. Please make sure that you are registered. Please double check your registration online. I vote in every election, special elections, midterm elections, everything, and I still double check that I was still registered to vote. If you haven't already, please get your ballot. I don't have my ballot yet, but I got my absentee ballot. I'm literally absent from New York. This is not New York. This is North Carolina that I'm in. And please, when you get your ballot, read it in the front, flip it over, read it in the back. Make sure you've looked over it. Make sure you use a black pen. Make sure that you use the envelopes that they have. Make sure you drop it in the mail and then check on it in 7 days to make sure that your county clerk has received your ballot and that it has indeed counted. And if you are in Philadelphia, you have 2 envelopes. Make sure that you put your ballot inside the safety envelope and then go into the additional envelope before it's sent out. Okay? I will see you all tomorrow. I'm going to go live every day except for the weekend, and then probably we'll do it on the weekend once we get into mid-October. Okay? All right. I'll talk to y'all soon.